Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Racha Wicaksana, and in this occasion, I will give the presentation about classroom management, which I choose the topic about cause of classroom conflict. So before we dive into the many causes of the classroom conflict, we have to understand what is a classroom conflict. So basically, classroom conflict refers to a disagreement, disputes, or tension that arise among students, between students and teachers, and even among staff within the educational environment or school. We can example. These conflicts are common and can stem from a wide range of sources, both personal and also structural. So basically, classroom conflict is a natural and common occurrence in the educational settings. It can involve in any form of disagreement, tension, or clash between student and teacher, or even some staff inside of the educational background itself, for example, a school or a university. So, understanding the root causes of this conflict is essential for educators to create a positive learning environment and to implement effective conflict resolution strategies. So, moving on to the next one, we have common causes of classroom conflict. So, in this, we have the first one is the diverse background and cultural differences. So diverse student often come from various cultural, religious, or socio-economics background. Difference in values, communication style, and perspective can lead to misunderstanding and conflict. So basically, one of the primary causes of the classroom conflict is the diversity of student backgrounds. Classrooms today are often multicultural and multi-ethnic, bringing together students with the different language, tradition, belief, and also social norms. So cultural misunderstandings student may unintentionally offend others by not understanding cultural norms and communication styles. So this count as cultural difference and diverse background because students may didn't know that they're offending each other or other ethnic group or other religion, for example. So the second one is the stereotyping and prejudice. The student preconceived notion or biases about certain groups can lead to exclusion, discrimination, or hostility. And we have religious differences, which was conflict can arise around religious practice, holidays, or attire, especially if not respected or accommodated. If we take a sample from this diverse background and cultural difference, we have like a student might feel isolated and targeted if their cultural customs are mocked or dismissed by their friends or their peers. So for the second one is we have misunderstanding and poor communication. Many conflicts arise from a simple misunderstanding, misinterpretation of intention, or ineffective communication between student or between student and teachers. So communications breakdown are a frequent source of conflict in classroom. Basically, it is the most common one because uh, sometimes we teachers or two students and to another student or student to a teacher, we have misunderstanding. We maybe have different meaning, or we interpret different kind of meaning from our teacher or from our student from our friends. So this can also lead to the classroom conflict. So maybe the for example is ambiguity in instruction. When teachers give out unclear, inconsistent direction, students may become frustrated or argue with the teacher over the interpretation. Next one is tone and the example is tone and body language. Maybe nonverbal cues can be misread, leading to perceived and disrespect or hostility. The third one is gossip, rumors, and etc. Maybe misinformation spread among students can escalate in tension and cause conflict. This is the most common one because, as we can, uh, for example, a student might feel unfairly accused of cheating due to misunderstanding, leading to some kind of bullying and confrontation. So, the third one is the rumors and gossip one. This is the most common one that mainly happen in school between between a student and a sub student. So moving on, We have competition and rivalry. Competition for grades, recognition, resources, or social standings can create tension and rivalry among students, and also leading to disputes, leading to a conflict, for example. So basically, academic and social competition can create an environment, right? For really a good environment for a conflict. For example, we take example from grade competitions that student competing for the top marks may develop some kind of jealousy with their peers and with their friends. So yeah, the next one is social status, popularity, contests, and peer group rivalries can lead to bullying or exclusion. So basically, uh, we uh, in school, sometimes for example, if in school we have some kind of the cool kid and the nerd one. So yeah, that can cause some conflict and rivalry because of social status in that school itself. So the third one is resource competition. Limited access to classroom materials, technology, or teacher attention can also cause some conflict in that school. So the next one is bullying and harassment. Bullying, whether physical or verbal or cyberbullying, is a significant cause of conflict in classroom. It often stems from unresolved disputes, jealousy, or attempts to assert dominance. So bullying is a serious cause of conflict and can take many forms. The first one is physical bullying. For example, hitting, or pushing, or other physical aggression that may harm the physique of the student. Second one is verbal bullying. This is the most common bullying, like name calling, teasing, or the student threat someone. That's count as verbal bullying. So, and then we have cyberbullying, which we can in this era we have social media or something. Student may have some kind of like harassment towards each other via social media or some digital platform that we have now. So basically, uh, and also bullying often show the power imbalance from the student itself, personal insecurities, or attempts to assert dominance. So we're moving on into differences in learning styles and abilities. So students have different learning preference and ability level. When instructional methods do not accommodate this difference, or when a group work highlight this spreads, uh, conflict conflict in the classroom can also occur. So students have variable have variety cognitive abilities and prefer ways to learning such as visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learning style. For example, frustration with pace. Some students may feel bored if the lesson are too slow, and or maybe even they were struggling if the lesson is too fast, and they try too hard to keep up with that. The second one is group work challenges. So difference in skill level can cause a resentment if some students feel that they are doing more work. So basically, if you divided some student into a group, maybe that some of them can have a conflict because each student have maybe different skill levels. If you put that student into one group, they may have a conflict itself because some student may feel they do more work than the other student. So the third one is teacher instructional style, which was a mismatch between teaching and method and student needs can lead to this engagement and also conflict. So basically, the example is like when a teacher give some kind of like some kind of like teaching style or teaching method, but the student feels that they uh, they need some different kind of methods in order to understand this material. So that also can cause some kind of uh, conflict itself. So the next one here we have personal difference and also emotional factors. But individual personalities, emotional states such as those influenced by puberty and also hormones and also personal issues brought from home can all attribute to classroom tension. So basically, individual personality traits and emotions that play a significant role in dynamic in classroom. So we have personality classes, which was introverted and extroverted student might have different ways to interact in, and sometimes that can lead to misunderstanding between them, and that misunderstanding can cause a conflict itself. So the second one is emotional stress, external factors such as family problem, mental health issue, or hormonal changes, especially during adolescence, can affect this behavior. So basically, if students have like a family problem or something like that, they often think about it too much and bring that into school. So uh, if they bring that, obviously they're in the bad mood itself. So that can cause misunderstanding and also conflict itself. And then we have an impulsivity and self-control. Younger students or those with behavioral challenge may act out more frequently. So basically, some students may act like too much, or maybe he was is they're not bad kid, but maybe they don't really have they have a slow self-control from itself. So that also can cause conflict. So in the next one, we have resource scarcity. Limited access to classroom resources, desk, material, attention from the teacher can lead to competition and conflict among students. So basically, limited classroom resources can also spark conflict among students. For example, the lack of uh, physical material, for example, they don't have textbooks or computer or art supplies. Uh, that also can cause some kind of conflict and arguments over sharing about from between students. So the next one we have teachers' attention. Some students may compete for teachers' time and support, especially in the larger classes. So basically, you kind of like have uh, that you usually call teachers' pet. That's the teachers. That's the some student that try to get some teachers' attention. So and we have space and seating. This conflict can arise over a preferred seating arrangement on personal space. So basically, it's the this is more the more common problem that's happened in the like elementary school level and also junior high school level. So this is they made some like teachers change their seats, so they didn't sit with their best friend, etc. So that can cause some conflict. So we have discipline and classroom management issues, a lack of clear rules, inconsistent enforcement of discipline, or perceived unfairness can foster some kind of conflict among students. So the way discipline is handled can either prevent or it can provoke a conflict. For example, you have inconsistent rules. If the rules are applied unevenly, students may feel unfairly treated. So then we have a lack of clear expectation without a clear guideline. Student may test boundaries, leading to another conflict or maybe disputes. And the third one is, and then we have a teacher-student power struggles. Conflict can arise when student challenge authority or when the teacher respond harshly. So then we're moving on into the teacher-students conflict. This conflict may arise due to misunderstanding of teacher instructions, perceived unfair grading, lack of didactic materials, or difference in expectation and also attitudes. Conflict between teachers and students can arise from various sources. The first one is perceived unfairness. Students may feel grades or punishment are unequal and unfair. The next one is lack of engagement. Students who feel ignored or misunderstood may act out. And then we have communication gap. Difference in communication style or expectation can cause also a conflict itself. So and we have the final one is group work and collaboration challenges. Working in group can expose difference in work ethic, commitment, or leadership styles, leading to disagreements and also frustration, and can leads to conflict. Group assignments are valuable but can also be a source of conflict. Unequal participation, some students may contribute less, and it can cause another student frustration, and also this can lead to another conflict. Then we have leadership disputes, which was classes over who leads the makes the decisions and disrupt group harmony. We have a differing work ethic, which says varied commitment levels can lead to another conflict itself in that group. So moving on into conclusion, classroom conflict is a complex and multi-faced, often resulting in combination of social, emotional, cultural, and structural factors. Recognizing these causes help educators anticipate potential issues and implement proactive strategies such as promoting cultural awareness and inclusivity, establishing a clear communication and classroom rules, encouraging cooperative learning and conflict resolution skills, providing support for emotional and behavioral challenges, ensuring fair access to ensuring fair access to resource and also attention. By addressing these root causes of conflict, teacher can foster a more harmonious, respectful, and also productive learning environment. So then we move into the part two. The number one, we have a problem. Mr. Elazar apparently has a problem when leading a class discussion with his junior high school student. No matter how involved in the topic of the students were, there were usually several students sitting in the back who would talk, shout out the silly answer, and play with objects they had brought from home. So, from the maybe the conclusion is Mr. Elazar can apply classroom management by setting clear rules and consistent consequences. It contributes directly to the efficiency of teaching and also learning as the most effective activities. Can and it can be made almost useless if the teacher does not them efficiently. So basically, Mr. Elazar just to have can apply for classroom management by setting clear rules and also making us consistent consequences for the student itself. So, and then we have the second problem, which was Stefano was the one of the most productive and disruptive students Miss Chandra had ever taught. Throughout classes, he continuously talked to girls and teased students sitting near him. He made inappropriate and sarcastic remarks in response to almost anything Miss Chandra said. When confronted by her, Stefano grinned charmingly and responded with exaggerated courtesy to the delight of the other student. So misgender. So to solve this problem, misgender should communicate effectively with students, not only sending the messages, but also receiving their messages. They are more likely to be attentive to a conversation than a speech to which they are expected to listen passively. It is vital in your ability and to identifying students' need and decided learning goals or design learning activities that can help them and also evaluate the student itself. So next we have the last problem. Miss Yaskilia was concerned about the frequent teasing that had begun in her class. It reached to the point where there was a constant recurring among the students. They became so angry, began yelling, shouting, and shoving one another during classes. So, uh, in this, the solution of this problem which was this problem happened because the intolerant atmosphere. So basically, student doesn't know how to express their feeling to be supportive, tolerant, or being nice to each other. So basically, and then Mr. Tieskia should identify their emotional and social need throughout his class and uh, Miss Yesia also needs to collaborative tasks that can help them rebuild to become a more respectful and to become a more respectful student relationship. So, uh, so that is the end of the presentation. Thanks for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.